So we are live. It's 12 o'clock, 12 p.m. here in the eastern part of Canada, eastern part of the US. And this is our live that we promised we'll start, which is Friday Connect. My name is Samas Siddiqui, and I have, at this point in time, three amazing mentors who are joining this podcast, LinkedIn Live rather. Hopefully, we'll have two more coming in from the US. So four of us are based in Canada and two from US. But we bring in global experience with us, and if we add the experience that we have altogether, I think it should be a couple of 100 years of experience altogether. So that's
We are all very old.
Not couple of hundred, just shy of to a couple of hundred.
Yeah. So, and this is, by the way, this is a live session which we will do every Friday, same time, and same group of mentors will come together. If somebody is busy, of course, amongst the mentors, they won't join in. But mostly we will be with you. And just to give you a little bit of a background of this initiative, so six of us started a LinkedIn audio podcast in 2023, and we continued for many weeks. I think 28 weeks we did it every Friday, 1 hour um, discussion. The the challenge, of course, the opportunity at that point was that we could do it an audio live. LinkedIn had provided us the opportunity to do an audio live, which means that we could invite people onto the stage and actually talk to them. Uh, and but LinkedIn discontinued LinkedIn Live. That kind of demotivated us as well. But we thought, okay, now we don't have LinkedIn Audio Live, but we still have LinkedIn Video Live, which means that we'll have to dress up a little bit before we join in. But we said, okay, let's do it. So that's where we are. We have started this LinkedIn Video Live. Who is this Arif joining in? I don't know. Let me see. Arif,
Yes, sir.
where are you joining in from? How did you get this
I'm
link?
joining from Andhra Pradesh, India.
Okay, so maybe you join us on the. Did anybody share the link with anyone?
Yes,
Uh,
I'm a follower of Mr. Syed Irfan. So
okay,
I
so
have got
so
the
this is not the link. You should join in on the LinkedIn, please, because this
link.
is yeah. So
Oh,
just join in on the LinkedIn, and
okay.
there you can ask questions. So thank you
Sorry,
very
my
much.
fault. I'll delete the post.
Yeah. So this link is for us, the mentors, and people can watch us onto a LinkedIn profile, respective LinkedIn profiles. So so that's how we started. We are expecting two more people to join in, two more mentors to join in. But just in the interest of time and just to build this conversation, this Friday Connect is all about our experience in the job market, in the career market, and your questions. So, audience that is joining us, they can ask questions. We will see your questions onto the chat that we are monitoring here, and we will respond to you. Occasionally, we will also invite some guest speakers into this podcast, and we already have a couple lined up. And maybe in few weeks we will start inviting the guest speakers as well. So please type in the comment. Tell us where are you joining in from, and if you have any question around career development, job search, LinkedIn, resume, interview coaching, ask that question. This is your opportunity to speak to us. Of course, we will only be able to respond to you through this live, but we will be able to see your questions. So we are looking forward to receiving your questions. let's jump on to little introduction. And every week, by the way, we will do this introduction. This is the ritual. This is the normal. Let's start with amazing Doreen Fernandez.
Oh, thank you so much. It's always scary to go first, but hey, I'm in for it. I'm up for it. So, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this Friday Connects video live. This is really different from our audio live. We have to be on our best behavior, no rolling of the eyes or shaking of the head. So, I'm happy to be here today to field some of your questions or concerns. We have so much fun together. I've been looking forward to this session for a long time. So, my name is Doreen Fernandez, and I am currently a career coach. I help people with their resumes and their interview coaching, networking coaching. I have over 20 some odd years of corporate experience working for the top four banks in Canada. I'm also a writer, I write people's stories, and I'm happy to be here today. So, I won't take too much time. Go ahead, whoever is the next one up.
Next one on the screen. Let's because we are starting from the bottom of the screen. This is what I see. Say that fun, and then we'll go to some questions.
Thank you, Sab. It's lovely to be back. We didn't realize that we did 28 episodes together, a podcast. And here we are. As Doreen said, we have to look nice. I haven't shaved today, but it's okay, I think. Um Let me start with a quote. That's from Rumi. Be grateful for whoever comes because each has been sent as a guide from beyond. So Rumi is one of my favorite writers for so many reasons, but actually, it he in his simplistic way he defines the relationship between human beings and nature and God and etc. I don't want this to be a philosophical tirade, but I just wanted to mention why I like Rumi. I've been working slightly longer than Doreen, about 35 years around the world, and what do I do? So I don't. I left the UK 2014. I was a CFO for a multi-billion-dollar company. I came here, did an MBA, and now I have my own CFO consulting, mostly strategy and growth for companies, and I coach CEOs and CFOs. That's my side gig, and the rest of the time I talk to these wonderful people on the screen. There you go.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you very much, Dr. S.M. Qureshi. Dr. S.M. Qureshi is very humble. He doesn't write doctor with his name. So I would
Well,
actually request you to start writing doctor. The PhD in human resource, uh,
oh wow.
whatever development. So yes, Dr. S.M. Qureshi.
Thank you so much. Great to be back with great people. Quick introduction. My name is Hassan Qureshi. I've been in human resources slash people and culture practice for the last 25 plus years. Different parts of the world. Currently located in Canada, in like GTA in Toronto. Do bits and pieces. I teach part time at University of Toronto, York, Sheridan College, and so forth. Also interested in coaching and helping people change their careers, coaching CEOs or C-suite executives from different parts of the world, managing executive compensation, and so forth. Currently, I'm working as a HR people culture leader for one of private equity investment firms based in Newmarket in Ontario, on in a food business, helping them restructure their overall organization and move forward with the investment. Yeah, so that's pretty much my experience, and now excited to hear from you guys, and hoping this conversation would lead to more career oriented stuff.
Awesome. Thank you very much, everyone. Hopefully, we'll have uh, our friend Barros joining in from the US and also Hafsa. So I think a lot of people know us already, but a little bit of my introduction too. Amas Siddiqui, I'm also based in Canada, and according to Fivecon, I'm amongst top 3% content creators in Canada with 85,000 plus followers. So that's kind of a recent thing that I learned about, and I keep talking about it. That's personal branding. Um, and I work with individuals and with companies in helping them grow on LinkedIn, do more business, build their personal brand. and attain that excellence using this great platform called LinkedIn. So that's basically a very quick thing, but people are joining in, which is great. Now, what I request everyone who has joined in is to just click the repost button. By clicking the repost button, you will increase the reach of this post for more and more people. People who are in your network will benefit from this podcast too. It's free. It's so valuable because I can very confidently say that this is the best career development podcast happening on LinkedIn, by the way, because here we are just contributing our time, our and providing you the knowledge and information, whatever we have, at no cost. So you just have to invest your uh, every week 1 hour, come back to us next week, ask questions, and we will be happy to respond. And please keep sharing, keep asking questions, and keep sharing from where are you joining in this podcast today. We've got some questions coming in. We have got Rossi coming in from Turkey. Tashakur for your for asking question, and because Irfan loves Rumi, and I've been to Rumi's place in Turkey. There is a connection there, and as you know, we both are from Pakistan. Hassan is also from Pakistan. A lot of Pakistanis really love Turkey and have been to Turkey as well. So this is the question: what do you think of a career change after 10 years of successful output? If you spot big opportunities in the new chosen career, so the, I think the little bit of rephrase is that if you see an opportunity, uh, would you reinvent yourself and get into the new career? This is the question. I would actually request Asan Saab to respond to this question because given his expertise within the same field and the research.
Thank you so much, Ahmad Saab, and thank you, Rostam, for the great question. I would look at it in two ways. One is a career across, when you uh, start your professional life or professional career till the time you retire. Actually, we never retire. We kind of uh, continue till the end, till the very end. It's like learning from till the very end. It's an ongoing process. Career change after any particular time is going to take place. It's a consistent change that is going to take place in your existing job, and or if you switch from one level to another level, or from one profession to another profession, from one industry, from one country to another country. For us to be, or for you to be, for anyone for that matter to be successful, is be ready for that change. Reskill, upskill, unskill. So those three words are very, very critical. Sometimes we need to unlearn our old habits. We need to reskill and upskill based on what the future requirements are going to be. So keeping that in mind with an open thought process will definitely help you land those career changes much easily and much professionally towards success.
And also, you use the word upskill, reskill, unskill. I think over the period of time, when we were like, when I was young, the strategy was you get into a job and you technically, you when you retire, whatever the age may be, that's the job that you would have. Uh, no more is the case because you have to keep learning new things. If you don't keep learning new things, you'll just find yourself, unacceptable in the job market. And Doreen actually works with a lot of newcomers, particularly who come in from various countries. So do I. Doreen, upskilling and reskilling. What do you think?
To answer that gentleman's question, I think it's absolutely necessary. I don't think it's a question anymore. We've changed so much. We've moved forward so far and so fast. And with AI coming on board, If you don't change, you're going to be left behind. So I would embrace that change, after 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 5 years. Yes, I think it's absolutely necessary. And you also have to think about the growth potential. When you take on something new, something different, you're able to go to places that you would never thought you would be able to go. And so I think, yes, definitely embrace it, try it, have fun with it. And it also kind of makes you less stagnant. It makes you less boring and humdrum. So go for it. I would definitely say yes.
Irfan Saab, in particularly, like, so finance is an area where people think that they don't have to reinvent as much. But given the situation, because I work with a lot of finance people and train them, mostly from the Middle East, and most of them are above 45 years of age, 50, 55 years of age, and they struggle a lot. And I think one of the reasons of their struggle is, you know, they don't try to reinvent themselves. What do you have to say on this?
So I'm above all those ages. I'm not going to tell you my age, but well above all those ages you mentioned. I I can relate to a lot of what Asan Saab and Doreen has mentioned. Really, we have to constantly whether reinvent or relearn. The world is moving very fast. So the finance of 1980s, that's when I started working, and today 2025 has moved technology, the expectations, and the speed at which everything moves, really. So you can't be stuck in a rut, and you have to have this growth mindset. When you mention those people, in Middle East or Asia stuck. Uh, I initially, let's say 20 years ago, we were having a conversation. I'll blame them, but I don't actually. I've come to realize there's a lot of cultural issues, there's opportunity issues, but I think one thing we are in control of is our mindset. Do we want to grow or not? And in order to be relevant in any field, be it finance or technology or education, you need to be constantly learning. So I think there are many opportunities, and especially now that we can do online stuff, amazing opportunities to reinvent and relearn. So I constantly, take parts in things like that, teach people, learn as well, read. So my request to these gentlemen is read and learn and talk to people, or you'll be surprised what you find out.
Absolutely. So we have again just to conclude on this one, and this is for the benefit of everyone. I always say that the best investment that you can make in the current era is when you invest onto your own development. That's the best investment. People think, like, invest in gold, invest in crypto, or invest in blah blah blah. You need to learn first before you start investing. So why don't you invest into your own self and do the things the way things should be done? We have another question from coming in from Hamide from Canada, and so thank you very much for joining in. Her question is, what do you think are the most important unwritten rules? Unwritten rules. That probably is the highlight of this question. Newcomers should know about Canadian workplace culture. So, I mean, I can go a little harsh on this, uh, but I think Aspen Saab would be able to talk. And Doreen, of course, she spent, a lot of her career working for four major banks. Uh, Luckily, I never worked for anyone in Canada as such. I do my own stuff, so self-employed, if I may. Uh, I think cultural shock is something that exists, and one should not kind of keep an eye shut on the fact. The thing is that, when we are migrating, whatever we are seeing on blogs, podcasts, and stuff like this, all looks very rosy. The reality is that the job market is very very tough here, and the hiring process is just very cumbersome. Now, just to give you an example, and Hamida, you know that already, is so for instance, if somebody is hiring a medical laboratory technician, I'm just making it up. In the US, you would see maybe 100 words or maybe half a page length of job description. The same job in Canada would have at least uh, a page and a half description. They somehow, but just this is just to protect themselves. The employers want to protect themselves because it's very very difficult uh, to fire someone. So so that's kind of a big shock for many people, and the time it takes to from putting in an application and getting your first response is also very very long. I personally feel I've worked with the US employer, British employer. I think there is this fear factor in the Canadian job market, which actually holds back the employer to hire aggressively. I would use the word aggressively because they cannot fire aggressively. So that's kind of my input to this. Um, and another thing, I think people try to hide things within the within the office environment. So it's not as open as we probably had experienced somewhere else. But again, it depends from institution to institution. Asasa, what is your take on this?
Sure, I think you've hit it on I mean, right on the head. I think it's important to understand how the market dynamics have shifted over time. So that's one part of it. Second, to answer this particular question, so your quote unquote unwritten rule. So the unwritten rule is basically things are not exactly the way someone told you that they are going to be. So you need to be open, again, coming back to the change mindset. You need to be open how I mean, we all are. I mean, I'm an immigrant. We all are immigrants. So when we came in, things were very different. The way we see things now is very different. Personally, I have immigrated to Canada twice. uh, for I mean, once, like, I came, stayed here for 10 years, then went a job overseas, then came back for my kids education and all that. But what I'm saying is that when I came initially, the job market and the dynamics were very different than what they were when I moved the second time. Now in the last 2 to 3 years, you see how AI is started impacting LinkedIn. Some recruiters or some advisors also now started telling employees, or not employees, like potential newcomers, that the resumes are dead. Your LinkedIn is your resume. Again, that's a different mindset. Now you need to be ready for change on a regular basis. That's number one. Unwritten rule, I would take a positive spin to it, and I would suggest, do not surround yourselves with people who bring in negativity to your surrounding and to your character. Everyone's situation is unique and dynamic. What has happened to you or me or Hamad Saab or Irfan Saab or Doreen might not be, it will never be the same, because that's how we all were created. So don't underestimate yourself. Don't overestimate yourself. From that context, be realistic. If you are, you need to be ready for change, and change in the mindset. Networking, updating your resume based on, say, quote unquote Canadian style, is the way to is a big thing. The way Hamad Saab mentioned, job posting in US is 2 pages, or sorry, is half a page. In Canada, it's a page and a half. In in another EU, if you go to EU countries, it's like 3 pages, right? So again, it will vary. So what is important is, don't be afraid of asking the question. Unwritten, unwritten or hidden rules, you will face challenges. I'm not going to be like sugarcoat things. You will face challenges, official, unofficial, discriminatory. Someone said something positive, negative. Don't have those things bring you down. So staying positive, unwritten rules. Every organization has unwritten rules, whether you're in Pakistan, India, US, wherever. The important factor is, you need to handle those unwritten challenges head on.
That is absolutely correct. And and the thing that I really liked in this conversation is staying positive, which is not easy. Like when you either you're not getting job or you're being bullied and stuff like that. If you know your rights, first of all, so as an employee, you have very strong rights here in Canada as well. Uh, but again, the process can linger on, and one could find some things challenging, and that's where I say, you strengthen yourself. Nobody's indispensable, but at least uh, contribute to a level whereby you are somewhat indispensable for the organization. I think Irfan Saab is trying to add to this.
Yeah, so I will add one thing. Instead of asking this question, and relevant question, very good points made by Aslan, really. When we are coming here, I came from UK, prior to that from Pakistan. One of the things I did was to understand how people communicate in Canada. Canada is very, very different. It's not US, it's not UK. So a little bit of research, especially on mannerism, is really, really important. We miss that point. We come here. I coach a lot of people like Essence Hub at a senior level, and the impression I get is, but we have this. Why is not accepted? And I think the point I would emphasize really is learn to communicate better in the context of Canadian culture. That's a very important point. I see that missing a lot of time, and it can manifest itself in many ways. And we don't have the time to go into details, but one of the things I'll tell you is, if you read the newspaper, you will see how things are written and explained. So that's a very good starting point. Thank you, Amasa.
Yeah, and Doreen, we learn a lot while networking as well. I think the observation part, or you have to keep your observation, or observe it. Or I'm trying to coin a new terminology here, but your observation has to be very strong when you're meeting people. What do
Mhm.
you say?
Firstly, I just want to make a comment about this is off topic, but I really miss seeing people in the audience.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
don't know
you're
who is
right.
here, but anyways, I'm sure Hamad, you can see who's there. So, we're happy that you're here. I just wanted to welcome you to the podcast. Now, Hamide's question was really broad, really deep. It's not just a one size fits all question. So, Hamide, thank you for that question. And I would go so far as to say that things will change even from industry to industry. I worked in the banking sector for many years. And then I also had an opportunity where I joined a community college in the education space. And working in that environment was very different as well. So, my advice to anybody who wants to know how it is in Canada, you got to look, you got to listen, you got to learn. You got to be respectful as well of other people, their ideas, their space. Networking, yes, you learn a lot from meeting new people. You learn their ways, you learn language and communication. Like, there's so many essential ingredients that go into this answer. It's like baking a cake. You don't just have one ingredient or two ingredients, it's a whole slew of ingredients. So, give yourself some time and give yourself the opportunity to learn from people as well. So that's all I'm going to say on this for now.
That's absolutely true, because when you are in a new environment, in a new country, the first thing you need to do is to learn rather than start looking for a job opportunity. I would not. I mean, I always suggest people to. I just tell them to give yourself some time. You're in a new environment. Try to learn, meet people, see. I mean, to be very honest, when you're new here, still, I've been so many years. There's things that I don't understand. Like, two locals, like my daughters, they were bought, they studied here. The younger one is still studying. But when they talk, these two talk. I mean, I just can't understand what they're talking about, right? Because their way of expressing themselves is very different to what we do. All right, so let's see. And by the way, please keep asking questions. We would love to respond to your questions, and um, and more questions means we're going to help more people. As simple as that. So we've got a question coming in from Aziz. He says, "I'm from Pakistan." A question: when someone comes in the market fresh, So, at entry level, I mean, very simple, Aziz. The point is, you need to find an entry level job. I mean, I see a lot of people that start applying randomly for jobs, but an entry level job or a job as a trainee is what a fresh person coming out of a university or a college should look for. And one thing that we promote here in Canada a lot is volunteering. So your volunteering brings you or provides you a lot of experience as well, and that is counted towards your overall work experience. Uh, Start volunteering because that's such a rewarding thing. We have got Kefir joining in from Saudi Arabia. I think you're in Saudi Arabia, if I am not mistaken. So thank you very much for joining in. Um, as technology, especially AI, continues to evolve, rapid pace, reshape professional landscape, would love to hear your thoughts. What fundamental skills do you believe will remain essential for finance and other professions to master and preserve regardless of how the future unfolds? So I'll give my two or three top skills, and then we'll go around and see what other people have to say. For me, number one is adaptability. Number two is communication skills. Number three is the skill uh, uh, to figure out things. You should be able to figure out things. These are the three from my side. Let's go around. Doreen.
Definitely communication at the top of the list. And communication doesn't really mean just being able to speak the language. Communication means being able to listen, to understand, and to relay your message so that the other person understands. So, yes, communication. The other skill that's really, really important, and this is something that I learned in my career, is leadership. If you have really good leadership skills, brush up on those. Like everybody, every organization is looking for good, solid leadership skills. So dig into that. There's a lot that goes on with leadership. It's not just taking charge, it's just not being a CEO or a manager. There's accountability, there's impact and influence. There's so much that goes on with that. And the other skill that I would say in the top three would be, yes, to Hamad's first one, is adaptability. If you can learn to roll with the punches, accept what's thrown your way, even if you fall. I think falling down is the best way to learn a lesson. You fall down, you brush yourself off, and you start all over again, like the song says. So that's my 2 cents.
Irfan.
So I'm going to combine what Doreen said, the communication and language. So the art of communication is the language of leadership, actually. It's one of the most important aspects of any role, especially as you go up the corporate ladder. Um, People like you because of stories, not because of your technical skills. I'm particularly answering pressers from financial perspective. It's a given table stake that if you're a qualified accountant, you would know whatever it needs to be known. So how do you communicate? How do you convince people? How do you build consensus? All of those things are part of communication and leadership skill set. And one thing which is very important, which in the age of AI and technology, you forget. At the end of the day, we're all human beings. Empathy, understanding someone's pain point, be standing in their shoes, that's really really important. That's how you build trust, that you understand someone's perspective and you try to help them really. Otherwise, the rest is what we just already discussed. Keep learning, adaptability, as Ahmad said, and constantly reinventing yourself because things are changing at a much rapid pace.
Yeah, Hassan Saab, what's your view?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sorry, yeah. So I would say absolutely, like, what I said earlier on, reskill, upskill, unlearn. That's the way things are, and that is something that is going to take place whether I like it or not. Networking, communicating your value proposition. What do you bring to the table that is different than someone else? Like, the first, I mean, we all go in, I mean, interviews, and we get asked questions. Okay, why should we hire you? So what is the value proposition that you bring to the table, right? If it's so that's the differentiating factor that you could bring to the table, whether you're changing career, you're in a new career, or you are is your first job, third job, fourth job. What is the value proposition that organization is looking for, and how do you match that? Because that's what they want to see, that's what they want to hear.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm just thinking, while you three were talking, is that I think a lot of jobs still um people get those jobs accidentally, I would say, because just think about it. Right? When I was growing up, and I'm sure you all do. Like, I mean, were we taught leadership skills, communication? Yeah, to some extent, but I think all these skills are not taught at the university or a college level, unfortunately, right? But that's where the role of doing volunteering and going and talking to people, attending events intentionally, all that really adds us. Uh, Again, the last thing that for everyone, try to build that inventory of skills that you have, and you will find what you need to learn more. We have a question, or I think it's a comment. It's a long one though, from Asad. Uh, it's to do with LinkedIn. LinkedIn can sometimes feel like a giant marketplace. It's pretty packed and spaced nonstop, self promotion, blah blah blah. But credit where is due. Dispense stuck, refreshing balance. So thank you very much. We really humble with this, and this is what we had been doing. It's not that we don't offer services. We all do. Asad, I offer co- personal branding, LinkedIn stuff. Doreen offers interview coaching and resume writing. Azad Saab also offers coaching program. Irfan Saab offers career coaching, mainly focused at like very senior level at CFO and finance people. So we all do that. But every Friday, we used to do it. We are doing it again. We want to contribute too. So it's not that we are not selling. Anybody want to sign up with us, please do so. But at the same time, there is this value that we want to really provide to everyone. Um, Sana Ilyas asking what if you were mentoring yourself, your younger self, what would you tell them to start learning early? That's a tough one.
I can go if you want.
Sure.
This is my favorite line. I teach everybody, especially people that are under 40. Look for trouble and just go head in, professionally speaking. This is where you're going to learn to fail, learn to develop resilience, and learn lots of other things. And most importantly, you actually learn about yourself, how much pain or push you can take and come back. And a lot of people, especially when you're young, you can fall, as Doreen said earlier, and you can rise again. But if you don't take those chances, don't commit to learning and making mistakes, by the time you're in your 40s, you're playing safe because you have other responsibilities. You're married, kids. So that's what I to myself. I did that. I got into trouble and got told off many times, which was quite good actually. But that's what I would say: look for trouble professionally and go for it.
Uh, which
If I
means
may
that
add to, sorry,
sorry, go ahead. Go
yeah,
ahead.
if I may add to Irfan Saab's point, look for those opportunities. I would say trouble as opportunities. It's not trouble again, from not from a bad sense, but those opportunities or those troubles or your stretch assignment. You want to do something more, stretch yourself, right? Of course, with limitation. We all have limited bandwidths, right? There are 24 hours. I have limited mental capacity. So we all have limitations. So within that framework, challenge yourself. See if you can do more. If you can do more, great. If you can't, that's also fine. And in my career, like so many years, the best time I have learned is that when I have taken someone else's job. When it doesn't mean that I kick that person out, it means that that person has gone on vacation or something like that, and my manager or my mentors in my career gave me stretch assignment. So I was doing not one job, multiple jobs, and that accelerated the learning process overall. So look for those troubles and opportunities.
That's exactly what I meant, but you said it more eloquently. Thank you.
Yes, Jory.
I will say one word and I'll say it 3 times because that's how impactful this is. Network, network, network. As young as you are, build your network because you will learn, you will grow, you will get coached, you will get humbled, and you will pave the way for opportunities that are to come.
Yeah, so don't isolate yourself and learn to articulate because that's very important. That is an interesting creative ability that everyone has, and often we don't use it. So try to articulate, ask questions. Asking questions probably is one of the greatest way of learning. You learn because you're asking the right question. So Junaid Bashir is asking a question which is a very like a Pakistan focused questions. We don't have any answer to that. You want to move to GCC countries, you just start like showing them that you provide the value. Okay, so let's scroll down and see what other people have. So if anybody has a question, okay. Usman Arshad has a question in the context of the Kenyan job market, which one is more valued? A diversified professional background, specialized expertise. I mean, my point of view, and then I'll go to Asan for this. Uh, in this market, you can't be jack of all trade. So it's very, very specialized. Something that I heard years ago there in the US, and I'm talking about the US North American job market. There was this guy who was fixing some kind of a tool. So he is specialized in that, just one tool. He started very young and he was almost like 50, 55 at that time when I met him. And he just, I fixed this tool. And I said, you just one tool? This just one machine that he has? Yeah, yeah, I specialize in that. So it's more of an specialization than generalization. Essence of what is your take on that?
Absolutely, Hamad sir. I think that was one of the earlier learnings for me when I immigrated way back, and that is we look at things, especially people coming in from South Asia, Southeast Asian countries, where we wear multiple hats. So a CEO is CFO, he's a CHRO, he or she's looking at everything, right? But in North American market, and even in mainly in Western countries or Western markets, the skill sets are highly specialized, not generalized. The more you grow within the career ladder or organizational hierarchy, then it would become could be you can say is more diversified from multiple industry, multiple organizations, or variable other variable factors over there. But if you're, for example, we always advise. So I always work with my students, and when I coach them or guide them, I ask them, and everyone tells the same thing. To be honest with you, is when you're applying for a job or when you're preparing for an interview, give them the key, take the keywords out, what they are looking for. So they are very specialized. You don't need to tell them, I don't need to tell them that I worked in Fortune 500 companies when I'm going to apply for a family owned business. So I need to articulate my position in that particular fashion. So it's extremely specialized. You need to position yourself for that role, because unwritten rule in Canadian market, you might be overqualified, you might be underqualified,
Yeah,
right? So you need to work around that. I'm not saying to lie about things, but what I am saying is tell them what they are looking for, those words, because that's what's going to click with them.
absolutely. So Rizwan is joining in from Finland, and he also suggests that the culture and everything is unique to that country, and which is true. Which is true. I worked in 12 countries. I think Irfan Saab has worked in many countries. So I think it's very different, very very different. Uh, Isra joining in. Thank you very much. She is also an amazing HR professional. Uh, Seeing you after a very very long time, Isra. Um, So she says one thing that truly helps people thrive, especially in a new environment like Canada, is developing the right mindset and staying resilient. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Too often we give up too quickly when things get tough, but real growth comes through persistence, whether it's adopting a new culture, pursuing certification, or upgrading your skill. Every challenge is a chance to learn. Don't quit too soon. Invest in yourself and keep moving forward. Actually, you have written an amazing LinkedIn post. I would just take that and create a LinkedIn post around that. No, you are absolutely right. People give give up too soon. We have got Coach Chadwick joining in. So Coach Chadwick. So Chadwick is a dear friend. Doreen and myself, we both know him, respect him a lot for what he does. And he says we can speak about resilience, perseverance, but because most are afraid of failure, leadership comes from making mistakes and jumping back in. You're absolutely right, Doreen. Anything you want to say?
Just so many thoughts swirling in my mind. Yes, absolutely agree with Chadwick. He always is ready to point out my mistakes and my failures, and always there to support me. So thank you, Chadwick. I appreciate you as a friend. Um, to the question about experience and focusing on something specific, people tend to look at their experience as their weight in gold. I'm not discounting that. No disrespect to anybody who has great experience and, international or global companies. But when you are applying to a job, a specific job at hand, you have to compare what they're looking for with what you have to offer. So when I use this analogy all the time, and I'm this is as plain as simple as it gets. If the company is looking for apples and oranges, don't give them watermelons and grapes and bananas. Give them the most shiniest, juiciest, crunchiest apple and the sweetest orange that they're looking for. And if that explains to you through this analogy, then that should explain to you how you should enter into the job market. It's doable, but address the pain point of what the company is looking for, and the rest will fall into place.
Absolutely. So as I always say, be a solution provider. As an accountant, as an engineer, as a doctor, social media marketer, as a receptionist, customer service professional, we all are solution providers. So present yourself as a solution provider. Everyone's joining in from Ghana. Thank you very much for joining in. What else? So, we're getting close to, yeah, give me a sec. We're
Yeah.
getting close to the end of the session. We still have 12 minutes. The plan is to continue. So this session, it's going to be an hour podcast. So it's an opportunity for you to ask questions. Just wanted to say that in the past 48 minutes, LinkedIn has shown this podcast to 2,225 people onto their screens, and a total of 677 minutes have been watched. That's the power of LinkedIn. And if anybody is confused and you're not sure, you have to be out there and be seen. And LinkedIn really provides us this opportunity. Uh, so amazing thing. And so essence, I wanted to say something, or
Yeah,
Irfan.
I was
Yeah,
just reading
please.
one of the comments by Asad about how can you explain or define negativity. Pretty simple, Asad. To be honest with you, negativity is when you give up hope. Never give up hope. You will never be negative. Again, I read your post on how much negativity comes or equates to toxicity and how much can you tolerate and all that. As long as you're not compromising on your principles, you're not compromising on your values, then negativity is a positivity and negativity. Black and white is always going to be there. We enter into a negative mindset when we move ourselves away from our values and principles, right? So giving up hope is the point where I would say negativity is has synced or seeped into our personalities. That's I just wanted to add that point.
And I'll just add to that really, how do we process things, information,
Yeah.
people around us? That is whether negative or positive. The fundamental issue, really, or the promise we should make ourselves as human being is, what do we do for others, not what we get from others. When you start thinking like that, giving it, to me, that's one of the first step towards being positive, because we all have something to give, and that's what we're doing here, really, to give and share. And um, the results of this sharing and giving, to at least in my experience, has been always been positive.
That's true. So, and something that I always say in my training and encourage people to get out from this seeker's mindset. As a human being, you can be a great giver. So start giving, and you will see things will change. So we have got a few more questions. Let's try to be a little brief on these so that we address in the next 9 minutes more questions. Even before getting a job, and I think this is also Rizwan. I don't know why I can't see your picture and your name, Rizwan. Um, Getting a job or anything else, many candidates often feel low and discouraged. How can they lift their spirits and stay positive? So, Madam Positivity is Doreen Fernandez. Let's
No, I'm going to say get yourself a coach and a mentor. Seriously, it works for me. I've lived pretty much all my life in Canada. I grew up here, I went to school here, I worked here. It doesn't mean I know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. And yes, I too have those days when I'm low, when I have no energy, when I'm doubting myself. And I call up Hamad, I call up Irfan, and I get their coaching from them, and they boost me up and they get me back on track again. So that's my simple answer: is get a coach.
yeah, and,
Okay.
and and talk to people.
Yeah.
When you talk to people, you will see things will start shaping up. Okay, question. Everyone praises resilience, yet few embrace failures. Real leaders are those who stumble, reflect, and step back into an arena wiser than before. Yeah, very philosophical. Thank you. Very philosophical. But again, the point is when you are in that negative mindset, it's very difficult to get out of a situation and move on. And this is exactly what we are talking about: is to build that momentum towards your thing. And Isra is
Yeah,
again come back.
absolutely. And
Yeah.
just one point here is, Hamad Sahab, I mean, sometimes, yeah, I mean, again, talking to anybody, doesn't matter who is around you, your loved ones, your friends, your family, your kids, your neighbor, whoever it could be, right? Just talk to someone, or take a walk. When I get stressed too much, or it's like, and which is, sometimes happens because it's part of our job, it's part of the way we live, the way our lives are. Just go for a quick 2-minute walk. Just disconnect yourself totally from everything. And positivity is so infectious, it would seep in.
I
Surround
second.
yourself with positive people so you get more and more positive. Yeah, again, I know it's easier said than done, but yeah, just disconnect yourself, take a walk, come back. It works wonder for me.
I second that, actually. I have a punching bag in my basement. I go and punch the hell out of it.
I hope you don't have any one of ours picture there.
No, no one's picture, really. It's all in my thoughts.
Yeah, no, no.
Yeah, yeah.
Otherwise there'll be too many pictures.
Yeah.
Oh,
So
wow.
Just
he
kidding. Just
just
kidding.
No.
imagines and punches it. Yeah, but you're so right. Disconnecting often really helps because you're getting out of that situation. You're mentally getting out of that situation, re-energizing yourself and moving ahead with something new. And just to add on here, I mean, I I suggest that use a little less of social media, right?
Hmm.
Agree.
Because a lot of social media actually drags you into um, I would say it actually depresses you. People think
Hmm.
that they're enjoying, but they're not. They're just burning their brain cells, right? Unless there is so just think about it. If you watch something for a longer period of time, you actually enjoy and learn.
Hmm.
But all these small bite-sized information is just too much of information for your brain to process. I mean, something that we need to understand, we need to learn. I mean, like I waste time. So when I'm like these days weather is nice, so I have my evening tea sitting outside in my lawn, and I'm having my tea. And if my wife is talking, I'm just scrolling on TikTok, and I know that I'm wasting my time, but there's a
Hmm.
purpose behind that, right? So, so the point is on the serious note that stop wasting that time and start learning something new. I suggest start writing something, or start kind of painting. I mean, do something that really your brain actually gets out of that negative state, and when you're creating something, you actually are into a positive mental state. So thank you, Isra, for your supporting comment. Absolutely so. Sadiq, yeah. So thank you very much. So keep coming back, and every Friday, same time, and hopefully we'll be able to take more questions next time. Even this time we had a lot of interesting questions
Yeah.
coming up. Um, I think a mentor is essential, just like having yeah, absolutely. And you should be willing to pay. I would say, when you're taking somebody's time, you know, uh, just value that time because that's really, really important. Um, yeah, thank you very much, for Dinesh, for your response. We only have 3 more minutes in the session, but it's such an amazing um, starting point for us. We said, okay, we're coming with a blast. I think we had already did a good one. Um, so when you come back next week, come up with more questions, more specific questions for us. All right. So another amazing gentleman joining in, Saad joining in from I don't remember Saad where you based, but Saad has been part of our community at Money Mindset Academy, my own personal community as well, and he is simply an amazing professional. So you're absolutely right. So start writing, maybe just using your laptop. Start writing using your pen and paper, and you will see that you will get into a positive state very, very quickly. So 2 more minutes, parting thoughts. Doreen.
I was thinking about the story, and I won't make it a long story, but I am a storyteller, and the story is about two men who were asked to, or two people, I should say, who were asked to chop down a tree, and they were given half an hour to do this. And the one guy, came out to the tree and he was trying to measure it up and look at the dimensions and whatnot, and the other guy was not visible at all. So when he came up to the guy and he says, where have you been? Like, I've been kind of studying this tree and trying so hard to figure out what to do. And the other guy said, well, I've spent the last half hour sharpening my axe. So, the moral of the story here is sharpen your axe. Look at yourself first, build your skills, and just keep shining.
Yeah, and please follow all these mentors. Engage onto their content because they are giving you their peace of mind. So, Asan Saab, and then we go to Irfan Saab
Sure.
and close the session.
I a quick. The first thing that came to my mind as parting thought was actually, and I'm going to share that, is be thankful of what you have. If you start writing one thing that has gone good for in a day with you, you will have 365 good things at the year end to thank, whoever you believe in. Be thankful. And challenges do come. Nobody is beyond challenges, and those challenges bring in change and opportunities. But be thankful, and have faith.
My comment and parting really, there's immense opportunity and it's very easy to learn anything you want. There's podcasts, there are all sorts of free bits, and there are courses around get engaged, learn, and be a better person. Sorry, I should say.
So thank you very much. Already 1 o'clock in the eastern part of Canada, eastern part of the US. 1 hour went like that, right? So please do come back next Friday, same time, and bring more people. Spread the message because this is what we are doing. We are helping our community on LinkedIn grow, and this is the best. And I can write it down. This is the best LinkedIn podcast on career development that is happening. Bring in more people, as I always say, and be positive and contribute. Today's session is was the first session in um, this podcast. And see, interestingly, this doesn't work. This doesn't work. Just think about it. Why somebody would follow you? So people try to take. Uh, People try. I mean, honestly speaking, going. So with all the respect, Singh Saab, why would somebody follow you? Just think about it. Farnosh is joining in. Thank you very much, Farnosh. So those who are just sending us messages, we did not know that you existed. So you should start engaging, start asking questions right when we are in the session. So thank you very much. All the best. We'll come back next
Yeah.
week and ask questions. So we have some questions in advance of this session. With that, I'll just end the stream here and